A blast in Gaza has killed hundreds of patients and healthcare workers at the Al-Ahli hospital on Tuesday night. Hamas has accused Israel of destroying the hospital in an airstrike, and the Gaza Health Ministry has reported that this raises the Palestinian death toll to around 3,400, with over 12,000 wounded since the fighting began on October 7th. As a result, demonstrations have broken out internationally, protesting the alleged Israeli attack.
We will never let you die.
While Hamas has blamed Israel for the attack, Israeli officials are claiming a Hamas ally is actually the one to blame. Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagari told reporters on Wednesday that just before 7 p.m. local time on Tuesday night, a barrage of around 10 rockets was fired by Islamic Jihad, a Palestinian militant group that is allied with Hamas, just as explosions were heard at the hospital. Video broadcast by an Israeli news channel shows multiple rockets launching near a location reported to be the hospital. Hagari claimed analysis of the aerial footage proved explosions were caused by a misfired rocket from a cemetery near the hospital.
Intelligence from few sources that we have in our hands indicates that the Islamic Jihad is responsible for the failed rocket launch which hit the hospital in Gaza. I repeat, this is the responsibility of Islamic Jihad that killed innocents in the hospital in Gaza.
Israel's military released what is said to be a minute-long audio intercept of two Hamas operatives discussing the hospital blast. Translation is provided by the BBC.
هم بيقولوا تعاونوا الجهاد الإسلامي. من علمنا هذا؟ شكله من علمنا مين اللي بيقول هيك؟ بيحكوا إن الشظايا تبعت الصاروخ إنه الشظايا محلية مش زي شظايا.
While Hagari claimed the IDF was not to blame, several journalists pointed out that previous Israeli military statements on civilian deaths had proven to be wrong. In 2022, the army claimed that Palestinian militants had killed Al Jazeera correspondent Shirina Abdouakleh in the West Bank before, months later, concluding she had been shot dead by an Israeli sniper. Hagari replied that the IDF was sometimes fast to go to conclusions, while asserting that this time we wanted to ensure we were credible, as opposed to the other events you mentioned. Independent researchers, without assigning responsibility for the hospital blast, echoed some of the Israeli military's points. Nathan Russer, an analyst affiliated with the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, wrote on X, "All in all, the damage we see is consistent with a small impact, with a lot of fuel accelerant that likely caused most of the fire damage, and very little, within a very narrow radius, structural damage." This suggests that a Palestinian rocket, rather than an Israeli bomb or missile, was to blame. According to The Guardian, a spokesperson for the Gaza Civil Defense put the number of patients and healthcare workers killed at about 300.
Hundreds of civilians were transferred for healing. The ambulance can only handle carrying one person, but this disaster was severe and horrible. We had to put 3 to 4 people in the ambulance.